Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. The Logan Paul cuckery is in full effect right now. The texts are out there; they're leaked. The information doesn't look good for Logan Paul, right? It doesn't reflect well on his character. Let's just put it that way. But apparently, while I'm sitting here in my lunch break, I saw a video by Lus where he got his videos taken down over privacy concerns. Privacy concerns about publicly available information. Now, Luss is a lawyer. I think if he wanted to, he could really take it to the mat, but I don't think it's worth his time. But if he really wanted to, he could, right? Because this is obviously, not a just takedown of videos, but when it comes to privacy concerns, you can't really even challenge it. You can't. And anybody can make the claim. And it's automatic because, YouTube doesn't review anything. You have to ask for manual requests and all that stuff, and it's just a pain in the butt. And they were able to do this over things that are just anybody can read. Right? And Logan Paul doesn't come out great looking in these texts. It's just a huge bad look for him. He wants to get revenge on people who feels that have wronged him in whatever way. He's made statements such as, I want people who wrong me to suffer or something to that effect. Now, you can't take that down because I'm not showing a document. I'm not showing anything. I'm not showing text. I'm just saying it, so they want to take this one down. Go right ahead. It's just words. I'll appeal it. But you can only do so much crap on the internet. I'm sure it's not him. These takedowns are by anonymous channels. But obviously it's coming from people that are sympathetic to his cause. I don't know where they're coming from. I'm sure he's got plenty of fans and his, millions, whatever. But none of this is a good look for him, let me tell you. Whether it's this lawsuit that he filed, which people told him it wasn't a good idea to do from the very beginning, because of discovery, right? Everything's fine until you hit discovery, and then whoever's got the most skeletons in their closet is the one that has the most to lose. Now, if he's going to be doing this, taking down videos, it's just going to go into larger channels doing it. So it's just going to become an echo chamber, pretty much, for those people wanting to say, hey, we're going to go strike this, strike the other one, and then bigger channels posting it and reposting it. And then it's going to blow up. And then these texts that are out there, all this stuff that's coming out in court is going to get revealed. And it just doesn't paint them in a good light. Let's just say that. It has quite the opposite effect. And probably the worst thing is, who knows? Maybe he's not even doing it. Maybe he's not even telling people to do it. People are just doing it on their own because they're, like sycophants of this guy and his popularity. Right? But it still comes back to him. At the end of the day, guys, it goes back to these lawsuits that are becoming so popular, right? It's the latest trend that Billy Mitchell started with, I'm going to sue you. So people get happy, they go into these lawsuits, and they don't think about the ramifications of taking legal actions are. It's very stressful because you don't know the outcome. You can think you can have a just cause. You can be as positive as you want as far as your case, but it doesn't guarantee anything. Now, coffeezilla, admittedly, on the other side, didn't do the smartest thing ever and bought the wrong insurance. I didn't get the correct legal advice as you should do when you're involved in these type of cases. And again, if you're going to be making videos out there, calling people things, accusing them of things, stating, I don't care how great of a researcher you are, if you're not part of an entity that's prepared, that has the resources, that has the backbone, that has, all the infrastructure in place for you to take on millionaires, that wouldn't be a world I'd be involved in at all. Because, as good as a researcher you want to be, as good as a writer, good as a content creator, that you want to be, you are not a professional in your field. And time again, it comes back to haunt these people. They get sued because just, you know, they just do things, they put it out there, and then you can have a guy like Logan Paul, right, who gets, legal advice, and it doesn't matter what legal advice he got. According to the statements he's making out there, he feels wrong and he wants, revenge. He wants justification. He wants to, as some of these texts out there put it, he wants to continue getting wins on their graves, because you can litigate somebody to surrender. It's very different, if two people off the street are trying to sue each other with limited means. It's a very different thing when a billionaire, right, it has resources to do so and goes after you. Now, Carl Jobs thought he had a millionaire on his side, but apparently we haven't heard from Notch yet. He's not talking about whether or not he paid the money. But in this case, Logan Paul has unlimited funds, right? And if he feels wrong, he's going to go after these people. Now, who are these people that are taking down these videos for posting court records, public court records out there, things that have already been made publicly available? Who are they? I don't know, right? Who knows? They could just make up an account and go after you. But this is a big blind spot for YouTube, because anybody could just say this is a privacy concern and strike a channel, strike them for whatever reason. Maybe they just don't like them, but if the first thing they do is take down the video, they effectively silenced you, right? Without any type of review, without any type of process. And it's, it doesn't go as a strike against your channel, but it takes down the video. It stops you from, earning, whatever few cents you're going to make on the video. But that's not really the important part. The important part is that you can have anonymous people, basically trolls on the internet, just claim privacy concerns over publicly available information and take down your video. This is a huge gap in the YouTube process. This is a huge blind spot where anybody can affect your content in any way. And, hopefully they find a solution to this. But in the meantime, I think this is not a good look for Logan Paul. He should just say, people, hey, don't do this kind of stuff. I can see if they're going over the line, exposing private information and putting things out there that are not public information. But if it's publicly available information from the courts, I think anybody should be able to comment on it. Anybody. And if it makes Logan Paul look like an idiot because that's what he put on a text, so be it. You have to take your lumps. You want to be in court, you want to be a big boy, you want to go after people, then you have to take it with no Vaseline and not having people out there cover for you for posting things that you don't like that you actually said. All right, humans, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.